Man, I'll tell you what, in the last couple years, a lot of really good anglers have discovered a secret for finding fish of all species, but particularly panfish on big flats like this in shallow water. And that's one of these things, one of these little underwater cameras. Like the tournament guys on the North American ice fishing circuit, all the great anglers now are really using one of these to find panfish. And you know, today Phil and I are out here, we're doing a two-man deal. I'm drilling, he's looking with the camera. And you know, we on a pretty, a small lake today, but it's a big weed flat. And Phil, I mean, what about this flat? What do you think we're going to do today to find fish?
Well, we're going to, before season, I came out here with the boat and I used the side imaging, and we looked for some thick clumps of weeds. That's primarily what we're looking for when we're on these big flats. Maybe sometimes depressions or some inside turns, but to save yourself some time and energy when you're out here in the winter, come out with the boat and spend some time and GPS some of the spots. And then when we get out here, Cory and I are just going to bop waypoints and look for some of that thick cabbage, Elodea mixed in.
You got fish here, Phil?
Nope, no fish. It's a little barren. This spot ain't going to work. It's just missing any of the thick cabbage that we got. It's got some small weed that's on the bottom. Looks dead though. Just a lot of nothing with a few stalks. It's just not the right type of cover. When we're scouting for fish, don't spend more than 20, 30 seconds in a hole. If you're not seeing the weed you like or you're not seeing fish, just keep moving. If you are seeing the weeds, spend maybe a minute in there, because a lot of times bluegills, perch will do it too, northerns, bass, they will be attracted to this camera head. So as they sense the commotion coming down, they're very curious, so they'll come in and take a look at it. So if you're seeing what you like, spend maybe a minute or two in that hole, but if you're not, move on real quick. You can cover a lot more ground that way. Look at this.
You got some good ones here?
But you got,
crappies, man.
Look at the weeds. Look how thick the weeds, look at the fish in them now. Look at the bluegills. We landed on a bigger clump. There's a decent crappie, look at that.
So this is what we were looking for here. We got bigger clumps of cabbage that actually kind of hold the fish. Like you said, there's pods of fish moving through all the time, but if you can find a spot where there's a bigger clump of cabbage, it's more likely to kind of hold fish in an area for a little bit longer.
Yep. One thing, a lot of people ask is, why would you use a depth finder versus a camera? Well, when you're searching for fish and you're trying to be really quick, you can see on the screen how thick some of these weeds are where these fish are holding. You drop your transducer down and all you do is get a lot of clutter. Depth finders, you're only looking at an area that's very small when you're only in 6, 7 feet, but with a camera, you can look at an area that's 10, 12 feet in circumference around this hole. You can cover a lot more ground. Camera is much more efficient, much quicker in the shallow, thick weeds than a depth finder would be. Hey Cory, check this video out. It's from the hole just prior to the one we just drilled.
It's awesome, okay.
Yeah, look at that school. There's some bass. Look at that bluegill. It's got some shoulders on it.
Isn't that amazing?
So that's another beauty of this camera, the recording function. Builds a little excitement. This is the right weed bed.
I think, it's either the same fish that'll cycle through or you have fresh schools moving through, but like you said, if you've got the right stuff, you're the right veg, it's just like the tip of a point. If you're in a high percentage area, you've got better chances that you're gonna have fish constantly moving through. So whether it's new fish we're seeing or the same fish cycling back through, it's a high percentage spot. That's why this spot is so good, I think.
Oh, we just landed on a big school of crappies. Gonna pan around, just see which direction they're coming from and going. I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna grab the depth finders, we're gonna grab the rods, we're gonna try and put some fish on the ice. Ooh, Cory, I got a nice one on. I think this is the one we're looking for.
Connected.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
Oh yeah.
There's a nice meal.
Yeah, that's a nice
Look at all
there,
the orange
Phil.
on it. Yeah, isn't it awesome? We literally, Cory, how long have we been here?
Man, maybe a half hour, 45 minutes. It's all about using the camera to find fish fast, have the confidence that there's fish here, and then you catch them. Boom.
And, we got a lot of tools to use winter fishing. Electronics have come a long way, but that camera, when you're fishing shallow weeds, there is nothing better to more efficiently cover water than that camera.
Absolutely.
And it gives you a ton of confidence.